Hi, and thanks for joining me in another video on ground de-icing. In this video, we'll talk about how de-icing solutions are applied to aircraft. Both aircraft manufacturers and de-icing or anti-icing manufacturers have guidance on how to apply solutions to aircraft. The general procedures for application of freezing point depressants to aircraft are outlined in Advisory Circular 120-58. Aircraft should be de-iced with type 1 solution, which is heated to a temperature of 140 degrees Fahrenheit before being applied to the aircraft. Aircraft should be anti-iced with type 2 or type 4 solution, and typically that is applied cold. There are various recommendations for applying freezing point depressant solutions to aircraft. To de-ice or anti-ice wings, it's recommended to start spraying from the wing tip and work towards the wing root so as not to overload the wing tips with solution and snow or ice. Aircraft manufacturer recommendations must be followed for de-icing flaps. And fuselages are typically de-iced by spraying solution at the top of the fuselage and letting it run down the sides of the fuselage. You don't want to directly spray on the windows because the heated solution may crack those windows. Care must be taken in de-icing and anti-icing cabin doors, sensors, and engines. A direct spray of heated de-icing solution can damage seals, sensors, and also the engine itself. Other de-icing methods may be used on all of these items. There may be heated air that can melt the ice off of sensors and also the inlet of the engine, as well as cabin doors. The tail is de-iced from the top down and from the leading edge backwards. Also, it should be remembered that items that can be seen from the cockpit should be de-iced first. Those items will have the longest time for ice to reform. If pilots see ice on those items, they will realize that the airplane needs to be de-iced again. The de-icing vehicle is made up of a truck, a bucket, and a boom. Inside the truck are two containers to hold de-icing or anti-icing solution. The bucket may be enclosed or open to the elements. Attached to the bucket is the nozzle for de-icing aircraft. The bucket operator also can move the boom to position the bucket wherever they need to de-ice the airplane. The de-icing vehicle has either one or two tanks. If it has two tanks, it can hold two different types of solution, typically a de-icing solution and an anti-icing solution. Also, there is a propane heater to heat the type 1 solution up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. There is a dedicated area, the de-icing pad, where de-icing vehicles can operate around aircraft that taxi up. Larger aircraft may require more than one de-icing vehicle to complete the de-icing operation in a short period of time. Also, larger aircraft are typically de-iced at the gate. Smaller aircraft are de-iced on the de-icing pads. At large international airports in colder climates, there may be a gantry that aircraft can taxi under and be de-iced, much like a car wash. This can either provide type 1 or type 4 solution for either de-icing or anti-icing, and are usually situated near the departure end of the runway so that the aircraft can depart very shortly after it was de-iced. Aircraft can be de-iced from the ground using a cart that is towed to the aircraft that has a elevated platform. Anti-icing solution is applied by hand by ground personnel. Aircraft manufacturers will specify the smaller aircraft de-icing procedure. various other types of de-icing apparatus. One is a hybrid system where not only de-icing fluid is sprayed on the aircraft, but also hot air. So that reduces the amount of solution that is required for de-icing. Another type of de-icing apparatus is an infrared hangar, where the aircraft taxis into the hangar and infrared radiation melts the ice off of the aircraft. De-icing can be done either at the ramp or at a remote location. Ramp de-icing is typically performed on larger aircraft. Smaller aircraft can be de-iced at a remote location. Typically, the remote locations are very close to the departure end of the runway. That way, the aircraft is de-iced shortly before it departs for takeoff. At larger airports where de-icing is more common, they actually have holding ponds and tanks for de-icing solution. De-icing solution has been reclaimed from sewers and other places on the airport. It is transported to a recycling facility where it is again used for de-icing after it has been recycled. This video provided you with an overview of how de-icing and anti-icing solutions are applied to aircraft. I have other videos on de-icing and anti-icing at my YouTube channel.